Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about liking to program but not being passionate about it. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, I really like to program but I'm not really passionate about it. What should I do? Well, I suppose that uh, you can probably play the card that a few very selected developers have done, and I promise you I won't tell on you if you do go down this route. What these horrible, horrible people have done is that they have educated themselves so that they can do a job, and then they decide to have a life outside of that job. So they got the skills to do the work, but they don't go crazy about it and spend every living moment doing it in their spare time just because. They have more to their life than that. And they go home at normal hours, sort of, and they sort of do a good job because they know how to do the work. And then they get girlfriends and boyfriends and like do things like, I don't know, watch Netflix, hang out with friends. Guys, and specifically this guy in particular, or if it's a girl, don't know. If you like to program and you learn how to program at the professional level so that someone will pay you to program, that's you done. Now you're done. That's all you need. Nobody's forcing you to do more than that. You might think that there is more pressure for you to go even further, and that is because the IT industry has a lot of mixes of people. You have people who are doing this as a profession, like a job, and that has become a kind of dirty thing because it's all about innovation and being trending, being the best of the best, and there's prestige and all of this other good stuff, which you will find in many, many, many fields. This is not just in software development. But the thing is that at the end of the day, being passionate and so forth is really not worth all that much unless you have the skills. And the thing about not being passionate, just liking how to program, is that you can be pretty mellow. Like just liking how to program doesn't exclude you from having a job as a software developer. It just means that you're not going to most likely learn all the tools, learn every single thing, be like this polyglot person who knows absolutely everything, or be a master programmer of one specific thing or a specific stack. You're just going to be able to produce results. That's the thing that matters. And that's the thing that is so hard, I think, to get through to young developers uh, in general. For me, like I really think that and it is because there is this warped perception of what software engineering is all about, because there are some outliers, and I think that honest to God, I really wish we could find a way for us to communicate as clearly the differences between the things that we are doing in software development as when we talk about athletes. Guys, in software development, because it is, we have gotten this weird situation where you and most of the people who don't know any better believe that everything is about being the best of the best of the best. And the only reason you believe that is because companies such as Google and so forth, they promote this to the point where other companies want in on that as well. They want to be the top companies in the world. This is a business type of thing. Like there's really, like, guys, there's a handful of companies in the world. Okay, let's give them some credit. Let's say a few hundred, a few thousand. We're talking about a minority amount of companies who are doing such cutting edge stuff that it's impossible for you to get into that sort of company without really being top notch, or like being one of these zealots who like go like the absolute distance all the time. And I'll give you a secret. There are people who are working in Facebook and like FANG companies who don't have that passion. They're just good developers. and they made it through the interview. You don't have to be crazy about programming to work there. Some of the people who are crazy about programming wouldn't get into those companies even, because it's not just about passion. It's about a much like a larger range of factors. And what this brings is that we have a community of people now who look at every single opportunity. Like the norm is that you need to be, if we relate this to athletes, as I was saying, we pretend like every single software developer needs to be an athlete that is so fit that they can go to the Olympics. That's not the case. Most companies are looking for people that are sort of fit, who can do the job. Like a personal, let's say a personal trainer level type of thing. You're not looking for someone who's obese or fat who can't like make it through the race. You're just looking for someone who is good enough to be able to do the things that you're doing in that company. Some companies are truly at the very peak, and you need to be at like at the level that is usually a lot higher than the average person who is just looking for a good job. But guys, I work with people every day, and I have worked with people at every single company that I've ever been to, with people who this is just a job. That's what it is to them, and that's okay. As long as they're good at what they do and they have a genuine interest to perform within that company, they don't have to like blog about software development. They don't have to sit in a bathtub and talk about it. They don't have to sit and code in their spare time just because. It's not required. You think that it is required because there are some companies that have swallowed this idea that that's the only thing that that this is the thing that matters, and a lot of people on the internet especially have been brainwashed into believing that that's the only thing that matters. But it's not. It's just a job. I promise you, it's just a job. The only time anybody is going to hold the fact that you want to have a normal life against you is if you're dealing with one of these brainwashed weird people, or one of these trendy startups who really have swallowed the Google pill all the way down and believe that their key to making the biggest amount of money in the world is just down to getting the best of the best, the rockstar programmers. And you know what? They're gonna figure out by the time they're like even out the door with their systems that it's actually down to more than that. It's not just about rockstar developers. It's much, much, much harder than that. So what I want you to take away from this is that you can absolutely just be a person who likes to do programming, and you can get a job. You can get your education, get the skills needed in order to do this job, and find a completely normal, arbitrary company that just needs someone to solve their problems for them. I work with people like that every single day. And I also work with the people who are crazy fanatic about it and like really, really push it. They work side by side, because at the end of the day, it's really about people chemistry and that you have the skills required to do the job. That's the bar. That is the bar. But you think it's higher than that because the internet is telling you that it is higher than that. But the reality is very different. Have a great day.